talked to you since Josh Norman's comments. What did you make of those, and just your reaction?
I didn't watch his comments, but I assume they're about Malcolm. I can give some more clarity to why I believe he's a sellout if y'all got a minute to hear a story.
Sure.
Y'all remember that players' owners meeting in New York City? So we were brought in under the premise that the NFL wanted to use their resources to help the black community. We established within the first 5 minutes of that meeting that we weren't there to negotiate an end to the protest. After about an hour and a half of talking, Bob McNair says, "I think the elephant in the room is this protesting." Terry Pagula follows up with, "Yeah, I've already lost 2 sponsors for my hockey team. We need to put a Band-Aid on this, and we need a black figurehead to do it." What's the Eagles owner's name? Lurie. Lurie says, "We can do more for the black community than you can ever imagine with our resources." Bob McNair then says, "Yeah, just make sure you tell your comrades to stop that protesting business." So we leave that meeting. We reestablished internally, the people that are involved with the Players Coalition, that we weren't negotiating an end to the protest. The NFL said they wanted to use its resources to help the black community, so I was fine with giving my opinion on how they could do that. That changed the last week of November when Malcolm called me on the phone and asked if the NFL made a donation to the Players Coalition, would that be enough for me to stop protesting? He said that they were willing to do $5 million. And I told him, no, we've already established for 2 times prior to this that we weren't negotiating an end to the protest. He then asked me, well, how much would it take? So I ended that conversation. I reported back to other players what he said to me, and at that point we removed ourselves from the Players Coalition. That weekend, Malcolm stopped protesting. He said that it was time for everybody to stop protesting. He didn't protest the rest of the year. The following May, the NFL and the Players Coalition finalized and announced their deal, and within 24 hours of that, the NFL changed the policy on the national anthem, requiring everybody to stand. So those series of events are not a coincidence. The NFL used him to change the anthem policy to force an end to the protest, to satisfy its sponsors, like Terry Pagula mentioned, and probably also to satisfy the President of the United States. We spent weeks on the phone talking about this deal and saying that it wasn't an end to the protest, and he made the decision on his own to move forward and essentially allow the NFL to hide behind his black face, as Terry Pagula said, to make a change to the anthem policy to force us to stand. When I was involved with it, it was set up much like a player contract, heavily incentivized. It was unsustainable. There's no way that we would achieve the goal of reaching the maximum $89 million. First, they said that they would cut funding to breast cancer awareness and salute to service. I said that's a terrible idea. Why would we undercut other worthy programs? Then they wanted to make it a matching program, so owners of the teams would only match what was donated by players. So if I put $1 in, owners will put $1 in. So the only way we get $89 million is if players donated $89 million. Well, I said, okay, I'm in San Francisco. I'm in Silicon Valley. I should be able to go to Facebook. I should be able to go to Google and fundraise. Nope, you can't do that. It has to come from the player's pocket. Then they took it a step further and capped that number at $5,000. So not only could I not fundraise, I can only invest $5,000. So basically, to get that maximum number, every single person in the locker room would have to donate $5,000. It just wasn't happening. It was unsustainable. It'd never be reached. And the last component was 90% of the funds had to be invested by players to make the next year viable. So if one team across the league doesn't invest 90% of what needed to be raised, the next year wasn't happening. That's what it was when I was involved in it. I removed myself. Who knows what it is now? You'd have to ask them.
So effectively, you say basically the NFL paid players off not to protest.
Well, that's, when I say neocolonialism, that's what I mean. It's funny, Terry Pagula said black figurehead, and that's literally the definition. When you use a black figurehead to push a white agenda, and then hide behind that black figurehead to get your agenda accomplished.
It's a little more mundane topic, but your thoughts on you getting fined last week and Zach Ertz not?
That's interesting. What am I supposed to do? He charged me. I'm just protecting myself. I don't know what to say if they don't like the way I protected myself. I'm supposed to stand there and wait for him to do something.
Have you gotten much resistance from the league office, or have you heard anything from them?
About,
Well, the fine obviously is one thing. Do you feel like you're getting slighted by those guys?
it's interesting. I got fined, got an interception overturned. We'll see how this appeal hearing goes next week.
So you are appealing.
I am.
Eric, you got to spend a little time with Chancellor before the game. What was that like, and why was it important for you to go over there and say hello to him?